have a quorum. We need 4 to have a quorum, and so we do have a quorum. Good evening and welcome to the Trophy Club Crime Control Prevention District meeting for May 25th, 2022. I hereby call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. with 4 members present. I will take roll call. Leo Daniels is not with us tonight, so that's why I'll be sitting in. Chris McAllister, not here. Joe Tellez, he's out as well. Heath Williams, I'm here. Frederick Lohman.
Here.
Mark Bartles. Here. Christine Goodbar-Hazy.
I'm here.
All right. So our next order of business is public comments. So do we have anyone for public comments? I think we have 4. Some are going to be speaking during the individual items. So for the ones in public comments, we'll start with Beverly Foley. When you come to the podium, please announce your name and your address. And you have 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm speaking tonight on the Ccpd, and I'm going to read what the state statute 363.151 and the Texas Municipal League says what a Ccpd can do and the type of projects the Ccpd is allowed to fund. For those who don't know who the TML is, they have been around since 1913, empowering Texas cities to serve their citizens, and the League exists to provide legal, legislative, and training services to the city governments in Texas. This information was brought to the attention of the council and the board members several weeks ago. If anyone has any questions about my information tonight, please contact me through my website, secureyourvotetexas.com. My contact information is there along with petitions to sign. That's for anybody who is going to listen to this later. The Trophy Club Ccpd website says funds will be used for acquisition of equipment and technology. As I read through the state statute 363.151, you will not hear a program referenced as equipment and technology. I am in the process of auditing the 10 years of expenditures for Trophy Club Ccpd. I started last week with the first year, 2013, requesting backup for the expenditures. This in no way has anything to do with the police department operations or personnel. My concern about the Trophy Club Ccpd is sales tax revenue not being appropriately spent on what is allowed in state statute. And the state statute on what is allowed is supported by the Texas Municipal League Handbook on Revenue. That also verifies that it can be used only for certain projects specified in the state statute 363.151. So far in my research, I have not found the expenditures here in Trophy Club of the Ccpd funds to be in line with the state statute's projects. Also, I spoke to Austin, the state comptroller's office's general counsel. I was referred to a gentleman in the local tax department. He agreed with the projects listed in the state statute or the project funds can be spent on. Those projects that the CCP should fund are, and I'll read through the state statute, and then first I'm going to read section 363.154 on the use of the revenue. And that is, in a district created by a municipality, the board may spend the revenue derived from the sales and use tax distributed under section 321.108 tax code only for a purpose authorized by section 363.151. Then in the TML handbook, I read the state statute at the meeting the other night with the city council. I'll go to the handbook this time. So the sales tax for crime control. The sales tax for crime control is an optional dedicated city sales tax that is levied within a crime control and prevention district and may be spent on certain law enforcement projects within the district. Revenues, what may a sales tax for crime control be spent on? Revenues from the sales tax for crime control may be spent to fund the following projects: a multi-jurisdiction crime analysis center, mobilized crime analysis units, countywide Crime Stoppers telephone lines, United Property Marking programs, home security inspection programs, an automated fingerprint analysis center, an enhanced radio dispatch center, a computerized criminal history system, enhanced information systems programs, a drug and chemical disposal center, a county crime lab or medical examiner's lab, a regional law enforcement training center, block watch programs, a community crime resistant program, school police programs, senior citizen community safety programs, senior citizen anti-crime networks, citizen crime reporting projects, home alert programs, a police community cooperation program, a radio alert program, ride-along programs, positive peer group interaction programs, drug and alcohol awareness programs, countywide family violence centers.
Thanks, Ms. Foley, we appreciate it.
I'll finish that next time I come, thanks.
Okay. Next is Jennifer Olson. And again, a reminder, you have 4 minutes.
Public comment or just on an agenda item?
This is public comments. Please state your address and name, please.
Okay. My name is Jennifer Olson. Address is 340 Inverness Drive. I had sent an email to everybody on the board and some different people in this room right now regarding some of the issues I saw with a past minute that was passed in the last January 27th meeting. I looked at the agenda. I asked that you guys would add it to the agenda to make some of those corrections because I think it's a good reflection of what's actually been happening in the Ccpd meetings, but I don't see it included in the agenda. I did want to point out, like I did in your email, but I want to point it out to our viewers, that there were omissions and errors that included not including 9 people that were either for or against, mostly against the cameras. There were some last names dropped off of some very important people that were leaving comments. There have not been any recordings for 6 Ccpd meetings. July 14th, 2021, June 23rd, 2021, April 7th, 2021, June 24th, 2020, February 12th, 2020, November 12th, 2019. I was able to review all those and save them only because I did an open records request, but I've been dealing with the town and the Ccpd, letting you guys know that these are not available for the public to see. There's a SoundCloud account and there's a YouTube account, but these meetings are omitted. And I tried to retrieve them at another time. At the beginning of the year, the links were broken, and I was not able to review any of them. I couldn't share them with people, but I already had them saved. So I was able to share some of the information that happened in these Ccpd meetings. This is all violations of the Texas Open Meetings Act, and it doesn't seem like it's been fixed. I mean, I sent the email on the 19th of this month. Maybe something happened today and it's been updated. I don't know. But I'm hoping that tomorrow morning when I look at these meetings that they will be available and people can review the past Ccpd meetings for the last 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chris Olson. Again, please state your name and address and be respectful of the 4 minutes.
So, Chris Olson, 340 Inverness Drive. First of all, thank you for volunteering. I will say, I am quite disappointed that, and I know things come up. I know people have family lives, and we've got an upcoming holiday weekend. I am quite disappointed that I believe it's 3 of the Ccpd volunteers, your peers, are missing tonight, correct? And I know I can't ask a question, so I believe that's what I heard. I really find it disappointing because it looks like on this regular session tonight that you're going to take appropriate actions on this, the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District Board minutes for January 27th, and also discuss a workshop. I think everybody should be involved. You know, my wife just got done talking about how there are several meetings missing from a very important meeting, several of them. And I will tell you that I've only been able to view a few of them because there's still some missing out there, but I would make a recommendation to the 4 of you, and if the 3 that aren't here are watching or will watch this in a recording if it is uploaded, is there's one common theme that I see from this board, and that theme is not to ask questions. It doesn't happen very often. It didn't happen very often in the meetings that I got to watch. So I'd highly recommend you start asking questions. Yes, you are volunteers, but we trust in you. And I will tell you that I am not a political guy, but over the last couple of months, I've become one. And you're going to see me here. You're going to see me here every single time, and I look around and I see the same people, same faces in every single meeting. And I was at the town council meeting, I guess a month ago, same people. So I'm here, and I'll continue to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Hawkins Smith, Eddie Hawkins Smith. Please state your name and address, please.
Yes, sir.
And,
My name.
Be mindful of the 4 minutes.
Yes, sir. My name is Edie Hawkins Smith. I am a Trophy Club resident for the last 5 years at 2033 Churchill Downs Lane. First, I would like to thank the Trophy Club Police Department for making our town the safest small city in Texas for 3 of the last 5 years. The programs that help make us safe either are led by or supported by the police department and include vacation watches, Citizens on Patrol, and Neighborhood Watch. We appreciate that the officers put their lives on the line every time they come to work. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to discuss our flock safety cameras. Our police have come under fire for installing the cameras. However, these same cameras were used earlier this month to identify a stolen car and make an arrest. Police were also able to treat the passenger in the car, hereby saving a life. This shows tremendous value of these cameras in their intended use. If the citizens of the Town of Trophy Club, if the citizens go to the Town of Trophy Club website, then to the transparency portal located on the police department page, they can read the parameters for use of the license plate reader. The reader is also known as the flock camera. The data gathered is securely stored for 30 days, and then the data is deleted. No information is ever given or sold to third parties, only shared amongst the 3 police departments that are close to us. I'm particularly grateful that the transparent page was available during the election on May the 7th. A non-Trophy Club resident set up at the polling site was capturing signatures with the intention of placing the flock camera on the issue on the ballot for vote. She was framing her point of view as a data privacy issue. Unfortunately, this woman was sharing incorrect information while trying to get with signatures. She gave 2 examples. The first is that audio can be recorded by the cameras so the police can monitor our conversation, and the other is data collected can be sold to third parties. The flock transparency page clearly states no data is given to anyone other than the 3 police departments. When I heard her statements, I directed her to the transparency page. Once she reviewed the information, she stopped giving out the incorrect information. My only concern is those folks that signed the petition prior to 11 o'clock when I was able to get her to look at the transparency site could have been based on misleading information that they were given. What I also find interesting is if you drive on any express tollway and your license plate data is transmitted to the tollway authority who stores the information on secure servers. If your license isn't registered with the tollway authority, the authority is still able to get your address. License plate readers are used in many locations, such as DFW, Love Field, and that's just to name a few. I think I heard the city of Dallas might be looking at to put that in right now. So, but I'm not 100% sure on that. To imply that our flock cameras are being used in improper manner is just wrong. In summary, thank you, Trophy Club Police, for all you do to keep us safe, and thank you to the CCP board members for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. So next, we have a couple of individual items, and the number 1 on that list is to discuss and take appropriate action regarding the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District Board minutes for January 27th, 2022. I'd like to kick off the discussion there. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is approved. The next item on the agenda is,
Got a vote.
oh, I'm sorry, can we take it to the vote?
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next on the agenda is a workshop discussion for CCPD budget for fiscal year 22-23.
Board, Chair, thank you. Tonight is one of the first nights of our discussions leading to our 2022-2023 budget. So what we'll go over tonight is just some general ideas and some overview of the budget, and then some suggested items, and we can start talking about that. And we'll have an open public meeting in June, another public meeting in July, and approval in July. So we have 3 opportunities to review the budget and talk about the budget before we even get a chance to pass it. So there's plenty of opportunity for people to come forward and sit down and talk to us. So what you have in front of you tonight is just a little a background worksheet that we put together. Gives you a little history of what's happened over the last couple of months. We did have an election. The election was on May 7th to renew the Crime Control Prevention District, and it was approved, and I have those numbers there. And then we have a little bit of our programs. So if you look at safety programs, we have a whole list of safety programs that the CCPD supports. And some of this, I even put some stats in here that we can talk about. So one of the biggest programs we have is our vacation watches. So far this year, we've already done 1,705 vacation watches up to today. So that's when people leave town, or they just have a house in town where they want us to patrol by it. So we drive by it once or twice a day. Our Citizens on Patrol also help with that project. So our neighborhood watch program, we have 4 active neighborhoods that are involved in that. And now that COVID's ending, those programs are getting back involved in those programs. The last 2 years, things have been a little of a lull because of the fact that COVID and people weren't coming out and getting together. But, 4 neighborhoods watches with actively people involved with the police department, where we have safety inspections in those neighborhoods. And then our other is National Night Out. That's really one of the biggest nights for the whole country, but in Trophy Club, it's really important for Trophy Club. We have 14 neighborhoods that come out and work with us during that night, where we have hundreds and hundreds of people in the streets. And I think one of our biggest National Night Out contributors is Abbey Moore. They have the whole community. They bring food trucks in, and we send over all the policemen and stuff that night. That's a big one. Citizens on Patrol. Citizens on Patrol it partners with the Citizens Police Academy. That's how we get people in as volunteering. We put the annual class on. We're getting ready to have one most probably this summer, towards the end of the summer, maybe even a joint one. So that's one of the biggest ones we have. And we have about 45 people involved in that program, where they come in and they help out and they drive around. It's really been gearing back up since COVID's over, and we've gotten away from some of the restrictions. But as you can see, they've already participated in 139 hours of just driving around town, adding an extra set of eyes to the town. So, and helping out police departments, and they do little checks to help us with traffic enforcement and things like that. So next is the Take Home program. This is one of the programs that involves the elderly, dementia, or troubled children. This is a very interesting program. We have 8 people signed up for that we keep an eye on. We check on them. So these, it really helps us participate and get involved with the community that really needs special attention. The school resource officers, it's an interesting topic today, what happened down south, but we have 3 SROs. We are very engaged in the schools, and this morning we were out there with every officer that we had available at both elementary schools, because right now, you're right, we don't have officers at our elementary schools. And that's something we work with the school district on, and as you heard on the news, no real schools use SROs at elementary schools today. So but today we had them out there. We'll be out there for the next 3 days until school ends. And then the office, home, and business inspections. This is a program that really has been in a freeze mode with the home inspections. Nobody's really been wanting us to come in their homes for the last 2 years, but we're really gonna have a big push this year and in the next couple of years to get that back up. This is where we talk to people about how they secure their houses, their garages, all the electronic signals that are coming out of their homes, cameras, lighting and things like that, how to do the shrubbery around their houses. So that's one of the biggest ones. And then all of the business inspections. We also do the same with all of our businesses. We have contacts with every business in town. We engage with them. The security doesn't work as much with cameras because they don't own the actual structure. So but they have internal cameras, but not external cameras.
Chief,
So-
so as far as the home, tell me more about that process. How do you identify the homeowners?
We don't identify the homeowners, I'm sorry. We put it out on our website, and people call us and invite us into their homes to help with safety inspection checks. So what's the best placement for cameras on our homes? Is my lighting good enough for nighttime lighting? What's the deal with my shrubbery? Is it too close to the house? Is it block a window where somebody can sneak in between the house and the window and protected by the shrubbery to watch them? Their garages, what's the best technology out there for a garage? One of our biggest interesting points is people leaving their garage doors open at night. So we drive around, we knock on their doors at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm sure you didn't intend to leave your door open, and we have them close it. That's what that home inspection is all about. We don't really have contacts with people in terms of that, but businesses we do, so. And then, so to move towards some of the budget items we can talk about, the CCPD funds the administrative costs for our programs. This is not a very big budget, and so the administrative cost and capital cost are the two big things that this funding goes to for our programs. So we don't have enough money to pay for salaries and things like that. So, but the biggest thing we support is capital and administrative cost. And that's what you see portrayed here in this layout. So we have an estimated revenue income of about $350,000 this coming year. And remember, this is sales tax. So depending on what happens with the economy and what people do, that number moves up and down. It's projected that we have about a $200,000 fund balance, is what we currently have today. So, and then looking at some of the
I'm
stuff.
sorry, Chief, will that be rolled over then? Is that what you're saying?
That's what finance is projecting, so that's what we have. So if we stayed steady today and we did everything we were planning on spending this year, that's where we would end at the end of the year.
Okay.
About a $200,000 fund balance. And then that would roll in the next year if we stayed at a budget of about $350,000. And if the number goes up, that additional funding would roll in, so. These are just some proposals. So capital is our biggest cost, but that's replacing our police cars. We can't do anything without transportation. So we did just talk to vendors. Cars are going up about 25%. So, and so does the equipment that goes in them. So that's why you see this number. We would like to buy 3 additional cars next year. Replacement of older cars. We have cars hitting over 120,000 miles. Our replacement plan is 80,000. So we've been dragging a few in there that we need to start to get rid of.
Can I ask one thing on that? What do you do with the old ones?
We sell them,
Okay.
yes. And we just sold one car this year and got a very good price for it. So it was a 10-year-old car, and I think we got $13,800 for a pickup truck. So we have to demod it, so it does cost us a little bit to get rid of it. We have to make it not a police car by state law. So we take all the decals off, we take any special equipment out, and then we can sell it as that.
And then that money goes back into the CCPD
It should,
fund?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, you see overtime would be the next line item. If there are any other questions about fleet? So we buy a
Well,
base,
whoever had the idea about the motorcycle was, I mean, with the price of
Yeah.
gas right
Oh,
now,
yeah.
that seems pretty.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and towards the end of the budget cycle, we'll have some numbers to reflect how that's helping us between the hybrid car and the motorcycle, what it's saving us. Basically, the mileage that we're putting on the motorbike is not taking miles on cars.
Is that something we might want to add to that fleet? Have to?
Not at this time, I don't think. I mean, it's a great asset, but we're such a small town, I think one's enough. So, but I would like to continue to buy hybrid cars to try to save money. So we'll buy, one of my proposals would buy another Ford hybrid like we have today. So we think we do see an increase in mileage we're gaining out of using a hybrid.
And when you do the replacement, will those be hybrids?
Well, at least one of them would be, yes.
Okay.
So we try to keep the fleet half Fords, half Chevys. They're different in size, and then the Fords are all-wheel drive. So during the winter, when we have the ice storms, we park all the Chevys and use only the all-wheel drive vehicles. So that really works out well with having half the fleet all-wheel drive, the other half not. So we don't have to worry about chains and things like that.
Chief, do you have any projection as to what the mileage is running on the hybrids? What do you, or
it's
is it
up
too
to-
early to tell?
It's a little early, but I think we're averaging about 12 to 14 on the cars, and I think the hybrid's almost up to 18 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah, because the majority of the savings is when it's sitting idling. It goes into battery mode and the engine doesn't run while it sits. So, because they leave the computers on and everything else.
See, thank you.
So the estimate about a car is almost $60,000 to $70,000 per car. So, and we're gonna try to save and use reuse some of the old equipment out of the older cars, so we don't have that full expense. So, overtime, and is basically, we put just a little bit of money aside to help with overtime for helping at the schools, special patrols for our entertainment area, for the bars and stuff, like we did a couple of years ago. We sort of went away from that with COVID. That's why we didn't budget in the last 2 years. We didn't have as much activity, so we didn't. But I think with the activity that's coming back to our entertainment area and with PD 30 gearing back up with more restaurants and bars, I think we'll try to put that program back into effect. So that's what that money is for. So the schools and some more safety patrols.
Okay.
So the next is professional outside services. So we have, this is where we hire people to evaluate our programs and help us with our official reporting and our legal fees. So, we use racial profiling. We have the integrity program. We have legal fees, and we have some specialized training that comes along with all that, is what really happens in this budget. And this is a big budget. We've upped the legal fees.
Why would we, tell me more about legal fees for the CCPD. Why would legal fees be in the CCPD?
We have a lot of requests and interest in CCPD this year, and so we have a lot more costs related to legal fees. And so that's where this is all coming from. So we're estimating putting an additional $20,000 in that budget to help with that for next year. So. Next is I'll combine these next couple, is our training, our office supplies, the administrative cost for running the programs, where we do firearms training, all of our required training, the specialized training, and a lot of this stuff is de-escalation training, community intervention training, the take-back program, the take-home program, the mental health training, all that stuff comes under these next couple of budgets. Basically, make sure all of our officers are trained and qualified to do all the programs that we work on.
And Chief, for some of this training, is it state mandated?
Yes, absolutely, yeah, and especially nowadays with all the mental health training and the specialized program all relate to the community service program, absolutely.
And is that kind of training on your site, or do officers go some other
Yeah,
location?
a lot of it, we try to do as local as possible, but we do have to travel. The majority of it is in state, but we do have to travel around the state to go to some of this stuff, to Sam Houston or to Austin or something for this training.
And officers are paid for that?
Yep.
Like
And that-
they're on duty?
Yes,
Yeah.
so that budget, that particular funding for their travel and their salaries all come out of the general fund.
Okay.
So this just covers the actual classes and
Oh,
stuff.
I see.
Yeah, so there's no travel costs or anything associated with
thank
that. So, and then we have a line item for small equipment is how it's listed under the budget. But this is where the contract for the flock camera system is programmed. And we're coming up, this next year will be the second year, the 2-year contract. So after next year, at next year's conversation, we'll talk about if we want to renew that system or not. That's when that will take place. Our handheld ticket writers are also under this budget. Those will be implemented in June. We hopefully by the end of June, we have training on that. So it's been a long time waiting to get that. So those are coming.
What percentage of that expenditure is shared with the courts? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we're hoping to share about at least 30%. It won't be 50% because we don't really write a lot of tickets in terms of generating revenue. But we will try to ask the court to help with that. So the finance guy's in the back. I'm not sure if he wants me to answer that like that, but we are having those conversations. This is something we'll try to push that way. And then, of course, you know, our tasers and safety weapons and stuff like that all come out of this general budget. So those numbers are very generic. Those are what we think should fund the program, that, you know, and that's, you look at that, it doesn't add up to 350,000. It wasn't intended to. But if we were to approve some type of budget like this, you know, we would work with finance over the next month to make sure we're in where we need to be and when we come back for the next conversation.
I missed the work with who?
Finance, yeah, our budget people, on our estimates and stuff. Because they'll let us know if we have to tap into fund balance or not to meet some of these requirements. And as you can see, we have a healthy fund balance. So, and then on the last page, you'll see, and I just put this as reference, is our programs that we support, and then what our actual budget will look like. You won't necessarily see this document later on in the budget program, because I'll bring you the actual budget document that you see every year. And if you look on the right side of this page here, where it says budget line items, that's what the town's actual budget line items look like. So you'll see these similar numbers in the budget under these categories. So, and that's why I sort of built this out the way I did. So when we correlate, you won't see, you know, a bike safety program, you won't see the Citizens Police Academy listed in the budget, because those are just programs that we administratively cover. We don't actually have a line item saying an officer is getting paid money to be in that program. We don't have enough money to do that. So administratively, this money goes to support the officers there to make sure the program runs. So that's why. But, so when you're looking at the budget sheets from this point forward, you'll actually see dollar signs next to overtime, professional outside services, schools and training, qualifying expenses, meetings, those type of line items in a budget sheet. And it'll have last year's numbers, the current year, this year's numbers with actual and projected, and then next year's projections. So, any questions on that?
Now, well, before we dive into a discussion, if anybody wants to discuss it, I guess this is more for Julie. I want to propose some dates for the public hearing. We will meet to discuss it. Thanks for the preview, that as
Yep.
well.
I have something, it doesn't have to do with the budget, but it has to do with the item we've been working on for a while. And it's about the secure parking area.
Uh-huh.
We made some progress there.
That'll be for
No.
that'll be for the update. Police Department.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay.
So I'm going to propose some dates for the public hearing. June 16th, 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th. Summer is a busy month, you know, it is a busy summer for everybody. I just wanted, you know, in the spirit of staying out front, I just wanted to propose some dates to kick those to us.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put an email together and send it to the board and see which one we can get a quorum. And then we'll shoot it back with a couple of the suggestions and we'll pick a date.
Okay.
And we'll also do that at 6 o'clock.
I mean, it's well prepared. I think we asked a few questions along the way. I don't know if I have any more. What's the proper protocol for getting on the vacation watch?
It's on our website. You can sign up and fill out all the information on the website. Basically, the dates that you won't be there, the vehicles that may be in the driveway. So when we drive by, we see a vehicle in the driveway, we know it's yours. And then a contact information. So we can contact you in case we see something wrong or there's something going on. So that's as simple as that, but it's on our website.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's a great program. It's one of our best programs.
How many SROs do we have right now?
We have 3. 2 are actually Trophy Club police officers, and 1 is a Roanoke police officer. We have an agreement with Roanoke. So during the day, when he's in town, he actually reports to us. He writes our reports, he uses our equipment and stuff like that, so.
And is that SRO assigned to Byron Nelson?
Yes, he is. He's one of the 2. We have 2 at Byron Nelson and 1 at the middle school, so. And we are working with the school district to see if they can help expand that program, so.
Okay.
Yep, because they are talking about expanding, putting even more kids there, so.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thanks for the preparation. This looks great,
Thank you.
well laid out. So there's no motion needed here?
There's no action.
No action.
You're not allowed to under the way it's agenda.
Right.
It's just for discussion.
So next on the agenda, we will receive a police department update where you can answer your question.
Should we wait until our other
Yeah, we're gonna-
board member?
Just hold on 1 minute
Yeah.
till we get a quorum back.
Welcome back. You want my water?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Continue with the police department update?
Yep, yes, thank you. I'm going to introduce Lieutenant Coletti, who'll be here in a second. John has been with the department for 4.5 years. He's going to be taking over as community service officer. So we had an officer resign to go do something else. So we're going to have John fill into that to pick up these roles. He'll be certifying and running the Citizens Police Academy and things like that, and working with our volunteer program. And so he'll be over most of these programs. So he'll be here in a minute. He had to run out on something. So otherwise, we're in recruiting right now. We just hired a new evidence custodian. That'll be starting in 2 weeks. We're in the process of hiring 3 more police officers, so we have 2 in the queue. So hopefully we'll have some backgrounds completed here in the next 2 weeks and see if we're going to be bringing them on board. So that's really 2 of our biggest things is recruiting. So being down hurts us a little bit, but we're on the process of planning for July 4th, which is our biggest event that's coming up. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to attend Taste of Trophy Club, which is a great first event for us. I think we estimated over almost 2,000 people at that. It was like a mini 4th of July. So coming up for the 4th of July, we usually have about 4,000 people. So that's going to be our next big event, so we're planning for that. Otherwise, that's my update for the program. So John will be here in a second if we don't mind holding.
Okay.
So I apologize for that.
Who plans the 4th of July event?
That's the Parks Department.
Park.
And just basically every town department participates in that. The Special Event Committee is the lead on that. But it involves every town department and every town staff member participates in that. It's an all hands on deck event. It's an all-day event. We start off with the run in the morning, and then mid-morning we have the parade that goes through that town. And then after that, starting in the afternoon, we have the festival that starts with live music, food, and entertainment, and then the fireworks. But this year, we're actually extending the event after the fireworks show, where we will have the band come back on and food will start being served again after the fireworks show to sort of minimize the mass exit for everybody. So I think, don't hold me to this, but I think for about an hour or 45 minutes after the fireworks show, we will have food and the band playing again. So I think that'll be a big benefit to the
How many
whole.
people did you think last year?
We estimate about 4,000. Yeah, it's getting bigger. And even though we had the lull when we just did the fireworks for the COVID event, where we didn't have a lot of the stuff, we just did fireworks. But since then, people were excited to get back out for that last year's event. So, you made it here yet. So, Mr. Bartel, on your question, I'll go ahead and shoot an email out since it's not an agended item.
Okay.
But I'll update the board on your question. So, any other?
Can you sing or
Update.
dance?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that good.
Tell me about National Night Out.
National Night Out happens in October, and it's a national event, And we send out an email to the communities, and we request what blocks people, it's usually a block party. And so every year we have about between 12 and 14 block parties in town. And we have some really big ones. And Abbey Moore has seemed to have risen to the top, but every major street usually holds one. It's really a good opportunity. And what we do is we bring in all the policemen and we drive, we usually split them up to where officers can't make everyone and stay because they're about 2 to 3 hours along during the night, so. But we actually have an event where we counter with the police department, the fire department. We give out, blue glow sticks and things for the events, and the fire department goes around and gives out the red ones. We do that for both National Night Out and Halloween.
That's nice.
So, but it's an opportunity for the neighborhoods, it's part of the Neighborhood Watch program, where everybody comes out, gets to meet everybody, talk to everybody on the streets, and then we interact with them at the same time, and we talk about safety and other things that we can do to help them and get to know them. And with the turnover we've had in the last 3 years, it's impressive, so. Yeah, want to take a 5-minute break?
5-minute break?
Yeah. To introduce Lieutenant Coletti, he's been with us for 4.5 years. He's taken over as the new community service officer, picking up liaison with all of our programs.
Nice to meet y'all. Sorry I was a little late. I was at Tom Thumb. We had a flock hit on the camera, and they're making an arrest right now, so
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
that's what we're up to, so.
He's going to be taking over, and he'll be filling this in on all of our programs and stuff over the next couple of years.
You got any questions for me, or?
Oh, nice to meet you.
Very good. Nice to meet
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank you so much.
Sorry about bringing you in. All right, thank you, that's all I have.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I think that's a wrap. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
This meeting is adjourned at,
Vote.
oh, take it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned at 6:45 PM.